Good morning, students. Now we are going to start the next part, second part in this topic, that is flower. So, last lecture, in last topic, we have been studied that insertion of the floral leaves on the thalamus, and according to this, there are hypogynous flower, perigynous flower, and epigynous flowers. Then after that we must see the next point in this chapter, that is Meres condition. It refers to the number of parts present in the flowers. Example, in trimerous flowers the parts of each kinds of series are 3 or 3s, while in tetramerous number of parts of each kinds are in 4 or 4s, and in pentamerous flower the parts of each kinds of series are 5 or in 5s. In such merous conditions of a flower having 3 or 4 or 5 parts in its floral whorls may not necessarily include in the gynoecium. So after that we must study the detailed parts of flowers, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So first part in flower, that is the calyx. So see here, calyx is the outermost floral whorl of a flower and presents at the base of thalamus. It consists of small green leaf-like sepals. The main function of calyx is to protect flower in bud condition. Calyx shows different in size, shape and colors. The sepals may be free or united. When sepals are completely free from each other, the calyx is called as polycephalous. Example, radish. If the sepals are united, then the calyx is called as gamocephalous. Example, datura. The calyx may be tubular. Example, datura, or bell-shaped. Example, hibiscus, or bilabiate. Example, ocimum. On the basis of duration of sepals in a flower, the calyx of 3 types. Number 1 is, that is caudicous calyx, number 2 deciduous calyx, and number 3, that is the persistent calyx. So first we see, that is the caudicous calyx. If sepals fall off as soon as the flower opens, then it is known as a caudicous. Example, poppy and argemone. Deciduous, if sepals remains attached on the flower and fall off with petals after fertilization. Example, that is the mustard. And number 3, that is the persistent. The sepals remains attached to fruits. Example, tomato, brinjal, etc. Persistent calyx is of 2 types, accrescent and macrescents. The calyx is not only persistent but also grows in size along with fruits. It's called as the accrescent. Example, physalis. And the calyx is persistent but shrivel and dries up. Example, gawa, punica. Then next point in this calyx, that is the modification of calyx. Sometimes calyx is modified as follows, as petaloid, pappus and spurred. So first we must know, that is petaloid calyx. In some flowers, sepals are colored and attractive like petals. The calyx is called as petaloid. Pappus, in members of family Asteraceae or Compositae, the sepals are modified into stiff, non-green, hairy or feathery structures called as pappus. And spurred calyx, when a sepals from its base produces a tubular outgrowth called as spur, and the calyx is known as a spurd. So these are the modification of calyx. Then after that we must see the next floral whorl in a flower, that is corolla. So see here that it is the second whorl of flower and made up of petals. The petals are generally brightly colored and attractive in some plants. The bright colored of petals is due to presence of pigments like anthocyanin, anthoxanthin, beta-cyanin and carotenoids. The petal protects stamens and carpels when flowers is in bud condition. The corolla may be actinomorphic or zygomorphic. When petals are free, corolla is known as a polypetalous, example mustard, and when petals are united, it is called gamopetalous, example datura. The scaly or hairy outgrowth produced from the petals constitutes coronal corona, example passion flowers. Then next point, that is forms of corolla. On the basis of shape and tree or united conditions, corolla are of following types, that is polypetalous and gamopetalous. In polypetalous it is regular or irregular, and in gamopetalous it is regular or irregular. So first we see polypetalous corolla. Petals are free. It may have regular forms like cruciform, caryophyllaceous, rosaceous, or irregular forms like papilionaceous. So first we see what is meant by cruciform corolla, that is cross-like. The corolla is polypetalous and actinomorphic. It is consists of 4 clawed petals which are arranged in a form of cross. The limbs are at right angles to the claws. This type of corolla is characteristic feature of family Cruciferae, example mustard. Then next, papilionaceous form of corolla, that is as like butterfly. The corolla is polypetalous and zygomorphic. It consists of 5 free unequal petals. They overlap each other in a particular manner. The outermost larger posterior petal is called standard or vexillum. The 2 small lateral petals partially covered by standard are known as wings. The remaining 2 innermost smallest anterior petals are called as keel. These 2 petals are united to form boat-shaped structure. It encloses stamens and carpels. It shows vexillary aestivation. It is characteristics of papilionaceae, example P or clitorina. Then next form, that is gamopetalous forms. Petals are united. It may take variety of forms, example infundibuliform, bilabiate, tubular, campanulate, rotate, personate, etc. So out of these, first we see infundibuliform or funnel-shaped corolla. The corolla is gamopetalous and actinomorphic. It has a tube which is narrow at base and expand towards with spreading limbs, resulting into a funnel-like appearance, example datura and ipomea. The next, bilabiate or 2-leafed corolla. The corolla is gamopetalous and zygomorphic. It consists of 5 unequal petals which are united to form short tube with an upper and lower tips. The upper larger posterior lip is formed by the fusion of 2 lobes, that is upper lobes. The lower small anterior lip is formed by the fusion of 3 lobes. The corolla gives 2-leafed appearance, hence named as 2-leafed corolla, example salvia, ocimum and leucus. The next, tubular corolla. See here that it is a regular gamopetalous corolla with their petals fuse to form a tube, as in disc florets of composite, example sunflower. Then campanulate corolla, it is bell-shaped regular gamopetalous corolla, example campanula and physalis. Significance of corolla. The corolla lobes are brightly colored with attractive insect and birds for cross-pollination. The petals protect inner whorl, that is stamens and carpels, when flower is in bud condition. Then next point, that is the perianth. Sometimes calyx and corolla are absent and only perianth represents accessory whorls in apetalous flowers of some dicots and monocots. The perianth whorl is called tepals, example tuberose. The tepals may be united or free, called polytepalous or gamotepalous perianth. Okay. Then next point, that is the estivations. So first we must know the definition of estivation. The mode of arrangement of sepals or petals or tepals in a flower bud with respect to members of the same whorl is called as estivation, and it may be of 5 types as below. Number 1 valvate, number 2 twisted or contorted, number 3 imbricate, number 4 quincunxal, and number 5 vexillary. So first we see first type of estivation, that is the valvate type of estivation. When the petals of the whorl lie close to each other, that is neither overlap the margin of the adjacent petals nor are overlapped by the margins of the adjacent petals or sepals or tepals, example mustard. Then second type, that is twisted or contorted type. When one margin of petal of whorl covers the margin of the other adjacent petals and the other margin is covered over by the margin of adjacent petal, this order may be clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. Example, that is hibiscus. Then third type, imbricate. When both margins of one of the petals are covered by the others and both margins of another one are external, that is covered with others of the margin of 3 petals, one margin is overlapped and the other overlapping, example cassia cisalpinia. Fourth type, that is quincunxal type of estivation. It is the special type of imbricate estivation. In this, 2 petals are external, 2 are internal, and only one petal, one margin is overlapped and other is overlapping. Example cucurbita ranunculus. And last type, number 5, that is vexillary type of estivation. It is composed of 5 petals, out of which one posterior is larger. It is known as standard or vexillum. The 2 lateral ones are partially covered by standard, are known as wings, and the 2 inner posterior smaller are united to form a boat-shaped structure called keel. Example, that is P, and second example, that is the gram. Okay, thank you.